I'm Dr. Johnson with Bethel University. In this video, we will quickly look at the three different levels of strategy: corporate level, business level, and functional level. This video is designed to bring to your attention the relative relationship between these different levels of strategy, as well as fill in some common knowledge gaps. A strategy, by definition, is an integrated and coordinated set of actions. These actions are taken to exploit core competencies and gain a competitive advantage, or more broadly, to achieve goals and objectives. Contrary to popular belief, a strategy is not actually a plan. A plan is just a plan, just like an idea is just an idea. A business idea, for instance, does not become a business just because you have the idea. Likewise, until you have action, you do not have a strategy. Take, for instance, the 1970s show titled Mission Impossible, which has been popularized by Tom Cruise in movies by the same title. What you are watching is the actual execution of their plan, or in other words, the strategy. An idea or mission, should you choose to accept it, was presented, a plan developed, and then action taken. Indeed, it could have been simply called strategy or action, but those would not have been very appealing titles. Functional level strategy, business level strategy, and corporate level strategy are very different. Functional level strategy, as the name implies, deals with the various functions of the business. For instance, those interested in marketing should be aware of the marketing strategy of the organization. This strategy deals with informing and educating potential customers about the goods and our services offered by the company. What likely comes to mind is the marketing mix of 4 Ps. Similarly, those interested in human resources would ideally be more acquainted with the HR strategy of the organization, which includes hiring, training, benefits, compensation, etc. The point here is not to go into a lot of detail, but to raise your awareness. So a functional level strategy that might be more universally interesting and simpler to understand would be the pricing strategy. In terms of the pricing functional level strategy, we might employ penetration pricing. The obvious way of thinking about this pricing strategy is that it is the utilization of low prices to stimulate demand and build the customer base or market share. In contrast to penetration pricing is skimming pricing. In the skimming pricing strategy, you choose to be the price leader and thus charge the highest prices in the industry. The obvious benefit of this pricing strategy is the ability to potentially maximize profits. Other forms of pricing strategy include value-based pricing and closely related incentive-based pricing. In one, a higher price is due to something of additional value associated with the good or service. For instance, an organic product might be perceived as more valuable than a conventional product. Similarly, a lower total price is an incentive for some customers to pay a higher upfront amount rather than a more costly month-to-month. However, the majority of the time, we are faced with competitive pricing, which is simply what everyone else charges. This is also important because we do not want to get into a pricing war, which is about attracting customers via lower prices than our competitors. This brings us to the business level strategy. The basic purpose of the business level strategy is to create differences between the position of your company and that of a competitor, and thereby to attract customers and earn profits. Interestingly, the business level strategies are oftentimes not fully understood nor appropriately applied. Keep in mind that 2 companies can charge the exact same price for a service or good regardless of having different business level strategies. A bargain store, for instance, can carry a high price good and keep it at the high price. Similarly, a medical services company, such as a dentist, can utilize what we call a low-cost business level strategy and still provide high-quality service. When business strategy is mentioned, what probably comes to mind for most people are the generic business level strategies: low cost, differentiation, and the combination or integrated strategy. A strategy such as the low-cost business level strategy is not about the prices, but about our costs. It is a strategy designed to provide goods or services at the lowest cost relative to competitors. Thus, the actions associated with this strategy emphasize removing costs from our operations. When an airline offers meals, it adds costs, and when it removes meals, it removes costs. The price of the airline ticket may not reflect this difference, but your choice to fly with one or the other represents successfully attracting you as a customer. You might decide to utilize a particular functional level strategy because you believe it complements your business level strategy, but they are not the same. Similarly, the business level strategy is not the corporate level strategy. Corporate level strategy is about diversification. In contrast, a company might seek to find new markets for existing products and/or find new products for existing markets. These activities, although important to growth, represent market or product development. For instance, the McDonald's Corporation engages in lots of product and market development. Indeed, this worldwide, popular American-style fast food burger chain competes directly in the fast food industry, particularly the burger industry. Of course, like many others, it also sells other things. Thus, the term dominant business is more appropriate in most cases than single business. However, a corporate level diversification is about entering a new or different business. Indeed, a diversified corporate level strategy means that the company directly competes in multiple business arenas. The corporate level strategy addresses the simple question of, in what business arenas do we want to compete? A group of businesses all targeting the same market segment comprise an industry. When you basically just have one arena in which you compete and generate revenues, you are organized around what is called a single or at least dominant business. A large conglomerate, by definition, competes in multiple industries, whereas a new startup business, by definition, competes in a single business. Therefore, for a new startup business, the corporate level strategy is effectively irrelevant. It is not until the decision to diversify is made that the corporate level strategy truly becomes relevant. The decision to diversify might be supported by the opportunity to acquire an assumed related business. The related corporate level diversification strategy represents relatively moderate levels of diversification. In this strategy, many of the business units share connections and thus are considered linked. Or it may be that all the business units share connections and are thus considered constrained. The highest level of diversification for a corporate level strategy is called unrelated. In such a corporate level strategy, there are basically no common links between business units. An extreme example might be something like owning a restaurant business, a car rental business, and a nursery. Both constrained and linked types of related diversification capture connections between business units. The fundamental difference is that the related linked strategy represents a higher level of operational relatedness or sharing of activities for the organization, while the related constrained strategy represents a higher level of corporate relatedness or the transferring of core competencies for the organization. In practice, any differences are rarely of significance. The true value and significance of a corporate level diversification strategy is the potential for performance enhancement via operational relatedness and corporate relatedness. This potential is captured in the concept of synergy, which reflects the performance above and beyond the simple financial economies of having a larger business due to the number of businesses in the portfolio. Consider Yum! Brands, which, given its portfolio of businesses, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC, has a related diversification corporate level strategy. Suppose, just for illustration, that each business unit was worth $10 billion for a total of $30 billion. In simplest terms, any value of Yum! Brands above this $30 billion would be the synergy created between these three business units. With synergy, the value of the whole is greater than the sum of the individual parts. Finally, the business level strategy for each business can be different. In our example, Taco Bell might use low cost, Pizza Hut might use differentiation, and KFC might use an integrated business level strategy. In summary, corporate level strategy is about diversification and identifies whether you compete in a single or a dominant business or in multiple related or unrelated businesses representing different industries. How you actually position each business unit and attract customers is the specific business level strategy decision. Lastly, we have various business functions and their associated policies along with any set of decisions and actions, i.e. strategies. I hope you now have a better awareness and appreciation for the different levels of strategy, as well as the relationship between them. I'm Dr. Johnson. Blessings to you all.